Everything is crashing. Bitcoin is done. Altcoins bleeding. Absolute carnage in the altcoin market. The regular stock market is also, traditional markets are crashing. It's done. So everybody, let's play a little bit of salute here. Get active in the chat, retweet, hit that like button. Let's go. What a day in the markets, everybody. Holy malarkey. We're seeing it not just in Bitcoin and crypto, but we are seeing red across the board. Holy malarkey. God, I don't even know what to say. We actually saw over about $2 trillion off the S&P 500 drop on the S&P 500. We're also seeing the Russell 2000, which is this right here, index officially enters bear market territory. In fact, the market is so bloody today that it's almost at that threshold. And yes, this can happen on the stock market, where if it drops to a certain amount, it can actually stop all trading for 15 minutes. If that happens before, I think 3:25 p.m. or something like that. So if we see further dips on the stock market, we may see some circuit breakers getting hit. And I'm actually curious, all of you tuned in right now, do you think that that is an actual a benefit that we're going to see from Bitcoin? Because we're seeing stock market shut down if that happens, and the Bitcoin trades regardless of what happens. I mean, on the one hand, you could argue that those of us that are looking at this volatility as an opportunity, then that is a feature that you're not seeing, markets just having this centralized control getting shut down. But we're going to have to see how that plays out. Of course, we got some mixed bag of reviews about everything going on yesterday with the Trump tariffs. And we're not going to here to argue that point, the good, bad, right, wrong. We have to see how all this plays out, because when we look at the markets, again, it is absolute carnage. Yes, in the crypto market, for sure, we're seeing some things down. It feels like we're kind of numb to it at this point. This is on the daily, on the weekly, on the monthly. We're getting only a couple of green ones here. On the yearly, even fewer green ones. The green ones are quite big, but everything is just on the alt market is just, even on the hourly. Oh, we're getting a little bounce here, but everything right now is on the chopping block. We got to talk about it because it's not Bitcoin. I still have people messaging me, hey man, why is Bitcoin down? Why are these alt downs? The market is in an uncertain territory right now about what's going to happen, and people are de-risking. I will say this, I did a post about it. Anybody that you follow that says they know what the market's going to do next, unfollow them, or make sure you're following a lot of other people, because even absolute market professionals, and I'm not talking about just crypto people, I'm talking people that have been breaking down markets for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, looking at everything from different things from credit spreads to reverse repo market to what's happening with quantitative tightening and easing, the Fed, what's going on with tariffs, what's going to go on with interest rates, what's going to go on. People that have been doing this for years are all going, I don't know what the fuck. There's no, because the whole scenario is different right now in this market based on everything we're looking at. In fact, I did a post about that earlier today. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Yeah, it's right here. The only realistic answer right now is, I don't know. We are quite literally in the middle of, and still lingering effects from COVID. The COVID world economy shutdown, when they stopped global markets. And then we had the legacy, the lingering issues with supply chain. Then we had the inflation, all the money printing, all these things. And we also have a different landscape for work right now. We have a landscape that now incorporates DoorDash and Uber and basically all these small independent contract jobs. I know people even before all this happened, when I was living in New York, which, you know, I lived there for over 15 years, doctors were having second jobs and third jobs because the cost of living has gone so high, and it's only gotten worse since then. In fact, if you made the average income for a household back in 1981 $30,000, if you made $30,000 there and you lived so god darn well, you had your own house, you were paying for your kids' college, you had 2 cars for you and your wife. And nowadays, in order to live like that, you have to make over $165,000 to live like our parents did. When they say, why is it so hard for you? Motherfucker, the landscape is entirely different. You have to invest now. And with that comes these days, like today, when you're trying to, you know, maybe you just got talked into from yourself, from your vision, from education. Maybe you just bit the bullet and started investing in the last 2 or 3 years. And you're looking at this going, what the hell is this? Well, I'm here to tell you today, is it done? As the thumbnail says on today, is it done? What now? It is not done. I'm here to tell you that right now. Be big boy, big girl, pull up your britches, because these are the moments that shape diamonds. These are the moments that will define or confine your future. Warren Buffett says it best. You buy when there's blood in the streets. We're seeing an immense amount of blood right now. In fact, everybody is hemorrhaging. But those that are paying attention are looking to what this means for the future. And this is not just going to end in absolute catastrophe. We don't know where the bottom's going to be, but I know I'm stacking, I know I'm hodling, and I know that I'm looking towards what can I do to get better positions, lower my average entries on assets that I bought higher than the prices right now, really hone in on where I think this market's going. And I really believe we're going to have a very bullish future, especially in the crypto market, which is so early, so young. And we have all the headwinds that we had are now tailwinds behind us. And everything is getting situated for the bullish promise that you thought you had in your head about where this market's going. It's still available. It's still there. We just have to realize this is a regular rinse and repeat faction of what we see in the market right now, having this 30-ish% pullback from the top 109,000 down to where we were at 107,000. When we look at the market, when we look at what's going on in the price action right now, nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Looking at this, if we zoom in on the 1 hour, we had the whole Newsmax situation yesterday. We had a full cycle, boom, boom. But this is on the 1 hour chart. When you zoom out, you realize, oh, you're telling me that Bitcoin, the most dominant, the largest market share cryptocurrency, the arbiter of is it risk on or risk off in the crypto market, is still within the same pattern that it's been in, with a slight deviation. Look at this, slight deviation out, back in. And in fact, we're actually still holding on the upper bound of this, where we have this lower bound right here, almost like a falling channel. But then this is what we're really paying attention to here, holding within this. Nothing has changed. In fact, we're seeing incredible blood across the traditional markets right now, and Bitcoin's actually holding up pretty damn good. We still have so much of the doorway that just got open to the crypto ecosystem about stablecoin legislation, the 100+ Bitcoin laws that are on legislation or have already been passed, in process of getting passed across the United States. We got just the capital access channels, the biggest asset managers on earth, and all of these gateways just opened up. Now, do we need them? You need to realize Bruce Fenton, who I was on a space with the other day on the Mario Nawfal channel, really brilliant guy in markets, I don't want to say he was perturbed, but kind of a little like, guys, we don't need BlackRock. We don't need Fidelity. We don't need the US government. This is supposed to be the people's coin, the people's ecosystem. Well, the fact of the matter is everybody's now hinging their idea about what's moving forward on what their decisions are. Now, while I do think it's incredible that we're getting all these capital access channels for all these various different major global financial players, we cannot hinge what Bitcoin is going to do in the future of that on that. It's just going to accelerate or create volatility around the stories that come around them right now on what they're doing. So let's take advantage of that volatility. When there's sell-offs in the market right now, when we have the biggest bullish supportive tailwind behind us ever, and we're seeing markets dip because they need to. Why do they need to? This crash has to happen for the sake of the United States' future. If you don't understand that, then get your head in a book and out your ass, just locked in on your opinion and your feelings. We have $7 to $9 trillion in debt that has to be refinanced this year, some of that being in the next 6 months. That is not tenable, cannot be done at the current interest rates. When Trump said, no, those interest rates are coming down, what do you think a big part of these tariff wars has been for? To put this uncertain pressure on the market, to allow the market to pull back, to put this scenario, this situation, the different things in place so that the Fed can have a great reason, also substantiate the reason for them to start cutting rates and start moving towards quantitative easing. We don't want money printing, but the debt, we don't want money printing, but the way the debt circumstance is right now in the US, it has to happen. It's a given with fiat systems. We need the rates to come down. We're going to be money printing here in the near future. It's all going to benefit Bitcoin and the traditional stock market here in the very near future. These are the moments that really define what your future is going to be in the market. Very much so. If we zoom out on the chart and we look back at this very scary time frame right here, look at that freaking sell-off, boy. Look at this. It's over. It's done. And what did this end up being? A mother flipping slingshot to all the way up here to $64,000. Where out of this 50 plus, look at that, it's almost 64% pullback was the spring-loaded launch pad for this upward trend. This had nothing to do with interest rates and inflation and all this trade war, but very similar. You get the market shakeout that proves to be the incredible buying opportunity for that cycle. Similarly, what we're seeing right now is this is a pretty decent sized pullback. In fact, it's a little larger than I would have expected this cycle because I had a little bit of a blind bull, and I'll tell you that. I'm not blind, but my bias. But this pullback, 32% would fulfill all the way down to where this previous range high was. We have not yet done that. And 32% is regularly in the cards for these types of moves, as we've outlined time and time again. 2017 cycle, 37%, 42%, 34%, 34%, 44%, 42%. And we're over here going, God, it's over. Guys, it's over. I just want to sulk because it's not going the direction that I want it to right now. It's freaking opportunity, man. And that's why we're here on a daily basis with every single one of you. F. Cameltoes says Bitcoin is done. It really is, or at least for long-term investors. Well, I guess you're not looking at on-chain data charts. You're not looking at the long-term accumulation addresses, the amount of absolute stackage that has gone into those in basically this whole time frame here, which is not where big money players tend to stack in at a market cycle top. This is not a market cycle top, everybody. And I got some charts and some data to break that down. We got a full room in the house today, 700, it's going to push up to almost 1,000 people. I'd love to ask each and every one of you right now, you're here in the weeds, in the blood of this market. You're still engaged. And I'd love for you to drop right down below the video right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, scroll down, hit that, where's my thing? Scroll down, hit this like button right here, bam. Hit this subscribe button right there. And if you want to share this, that'd be great. But subscribe, join us here in the fam. If you're watching over on X, make sure you come down. You could do this on YouTube as well. This is where we draw our winners from, by the way, those people that retweet this post over on @KellyKellam or @Academy BitLab. I'll share this for those of you on YouTube. Hit that retweet button, hit that like button. Get this out to people. We got 256 people there, almost 500 on YouTube. Big love to each and every one of you. Let's get into it. Let's go. Red. I see opportunity. Why is that? Why the hell can I be so bullish on this dip? It's because it's not the end of the story of what happened yesterday on the press conference with Trump. Yes, bloviating his ass off about stuff. Guy likes to talk. He's a little bit irritating in terms of what his persona is. A little egocentric, a little narcissistic. I'll give you all those points. But what he's doing with Besant and Lutnick around him and what they're looking to do to bring an equitable trade environment back while also tackling that issue of that has led to the 10-year coming down. We're seeing the markets sell off. Why would you want the market to sell off? Again, it leads to that economic and the scenario impact that needs to be there for the Fed to start cutting their rates, or at least announcing them. And we're seeing that conversation yesterday, and he came in lower on most countries than what he was signaling prior. The 100% reciprocal tariffs ended up being a lot less than that. Now, what we're also seeing, look, we got some countries already on the negotiation table. We do have to, this right here, and how this shapes up here is going to signal what's going to happen over this next month, maybe even into May, which is what's the rate of these stories coming out about these trade deals that do change and alleviate some of the pressure. We're going to get more and more clarity as this goes on, especially pushing into, now, will we get a rate cut in May after this big ass sell-off? Maybe. But I still think it's most likely starting in June. And there's now starting to price in 3 to 4 rate cuts this year, which is incredible for what we're looking at. So this is all the news yesterday. What are we looking at here today? Well, what do we see today, baby? We see the dollar breaking down. And I shared this tweet, this one right here, was it March 28th? And we talked about this. We were watching for the dollar to break down out of this uncertainty zone, which it was trapped in. Uncertainty zone here. Markets don't know what to do. If the dollar broke up into this would signal that we're going to see a lot more pressure on risk assets. But much like I talked about right at the beginning of this, if people say they know what's going to go on, that's not the answer. There's a lot of things we have to weigh right now, and you've got to be very adaptable and locked in because we are seeing the dollar drop. What is that supposed to mean? Risk assets pump. Okay, let's come over to the dollar. Look at that breaking down. Now, what does this look like? Let's come over here and go like this and do BTC, USD, Bitstamp, and we can see an overlay. This is going to be super jacked up. Let's go like that. Come on. It's not going to let me do it with, let me turn off auto. There we go. It's not going to let me. Essentially, there's a strong correlation. There we go. There's a strong correlation. Where is it at? I can't do it. I'll do it on this right over here. There's a strong correlation of the dollar, the impact of the dollar rising versus the dollar falling, and what that means for risk assets in general. But we can see it specifically on Bitcoin when the dollar is pumping very, very hard, like this, the blue dotted line. Dollar pumping. What do you see? Bear market on Bitcoin. Okay, dollar dropping. What do you see? Bull market, parabolic bull market on Bitcoin. And look at this. We've just been ranging sideways. But when you zoom in on it, let me go ahead and delete the, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me go ahead and delete. Got it. I don't need a training manual. Boom. Delete that. We're seeing this pattern that's played out since all the way back here, September 2022. Resistance, 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 support, lost. We also have this rising level of support here. This was that trap zone right here that we just talked about. This has broken down. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to absolutely just continue and because we're seeing fake outs across the board right now and everything going on. The problem with this is because of the tariff war, there's a lot of people, countries and big, foreign government players that are also getting out of the dollar, making the dollar weaker. So it's not just people selling assets that it's also signaling the risk assets pump. But this could be one of those leading signals that we're paying attention to. So this might be much similar to what we're seeing. Where is, let me see really quick, right? No, boom, boom, boom. Give me 1 second right here. Let me go to bookmarks over here. This guy right here. I have got it. This right here. This is what we're kind of paying attention to. This is from Colin Talks Crypto. So we talked about the dollar breaking down. We talked about, okay, we'll go to that in a second. But this is the M2 has been pumping like a mofo. And look at how the Bitcoin price is following this right here. Down, up, just like the yellow line, the M2, and now back down. Did this continue to the downside? No, we kind of got this rounding. Now, the reason why this is important is because this is a signal that shows, are they fueling the car? Are they fueling the car? And then your question is, you see somebody fueling the car and they're packing a bunch of stuff, bags in the back of the car. You could assume, more likely than not, they're about to go somewhere with that car. In this case, this is fuel for that bullish momentum that's going to be captured in investments. Okay, so this is incredibly bullish to us. In addition to that, everybody's talking about it's crashing. Calm down. It's an opportunity if you look at data over price. The data and landscape surrounding Bitcoin is getting stronger by the day. This is the intrinsic underlying most important value of Bitcoin, not just the amount of value. Like, I bought this Bitcoin, it went up in value, I made money. No, this is showing a tangible metric of how strong and secure the Bitcoin network is. The hash rate is just hitting all-time high after all-time high, just complete parabolic here. Incredible strength, which also means further decentralization of the security. It's the strongest security computer network in the world. It's a stronger computer network than Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, all combined. This is stronger than that. So the fact that people still argue, does Bitcoin have value? Motherfucker. Does Facebook and Meta have value? Does Instagram have value? Does Amazon, Google, Microsoft? Most of those, other than Microsoft, are primarily computer network companies. There's so much value here that it's not even funny. And the value is just going parabolic while we're over here looking at this on a 24-minute chart going, but it's over. No, this is this move down, this is opportunity. Say it with me, opportunity. This is what we want to pay attention to. Now, continuing on, we got that. Bitcoin. This is a question for everybody right now. Buying Bitcoin before the flippening will provide you an exponential future. What flippening am I talking about? It's the flippening from the broadly, the people out there trading, investing, dancing around, not taking Bitcoin seriously, trading this like a risk asset, meaning, oh, like tech stock sell off, so Bitcoin does too. No, why is gold pumping while the market's dumping? Because it's not a risk asset, right? It's the flight to safety. Bitcoin is the ultimate, or should be, and will become one of those flight to safety assets. So during the time between now and when that happens, there is this huge moment of let's shake every weak-handed mother off that's not taking this seriously. But for those of us that are looking at the data here on Bitcoin, looking at it over time, looking at this, massive, bull trend, oh my God, opportunity, bull trend, oh my God, opportunity, bull trend, and coming over here, check this out. We can, let's go to look into bitcoin.com. I think it takes you to Bitcoin Magazine Pro now. You can come over here to charts. I talk about all this in BitLab Academies as well. There's a lot of free tools you can use online. You come down, let me go to, where is short-term holder? Actually, let's actually make it easier. Let's go down to long-term holder realized price. Look how simple this is to identify incredible areas to buy when the market's dipping. This is when everybody gave up, and this is when the price of Bitcoin that's traded on exchange goes below the average price of the strong hand people that are looking to the future. When it goes down here, this means all the short-term holders have basically capitulated. Long-term holders have essentially bought, and now it's below their average price. They're long-term holders. They're not getting shaken off like a little chump. No, they're stacking here. This provides an incredible area of where you could be looking for the best, safest bet entries. Here. Look at this right here at the FTX collapse, went right under it. We have so much room to go, especially when you look at things like the MVRVZ score. Is it loading? I clicked it. There we go. Let's click it again. We've got so much room to the upside. So much room to the upside, guys. And then, have we bottomed? Well, let's look to some other things. Like we talked yesterday with Joe from Lunar Crush. Great discussion with him. And he studies social sentiment for a living with their product over at Lunar Crush. The sentiment right now, when the market bottomed, March 2009, this is basically hitting that same level. It's getting up into those same zones of the bearish, it's over moment. Now, this is primarily stock market, but the ebbs and flows of the bullish and bearish sentiment that we saw in the stock market back then, and if it also leads to a bottom in the stock market now, it's going to be very similar. In fact, Bitcoin tends to lead the stock market in identifying the bottom, or actually starting to reverse from the bottom before the stock market does. We saw that with Matthew Hyland on here. He's broken it down a number of times. You know, for those of you that don't know, if you are new here, by the way, if you are new here, welcome to the family. This is the BitLab Academy. We're breaking it down. We keep it real. It's no bias. We look at the data, try to keep you on the right side of these trends, and give you tools and understandings of how to use things and indicators and how to, what is an RSI. We break it down from the most basic thing all the way to advanced ideas in a way that's understandable. At least that's my intention here. And we've been calling so many of the moves in this market this last 2 years on this channel. Shout out to all of you that are here on a daily basis. But we have Matthew Hyland and Kevin Svensson here on usually every Monday, who are just absolute OG market legends in terms of analysis and trading and just a crypto ecosystem. So come back around on Monday. We're here Monday through Friday. Mondays we're on at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. The rest of the week we're on at 11, basically about 11:35 a.m. Eastern time. So come back. We're here daily. But we're getting into that sentiment. Everybody's fearful that marked the bottom back in 2009. Now, again, there's a lot of conflicting signals out there. We got to stay smart. We got to stay smart, because then we're also seeing stuff like this. Russian lawmakers urge the central bank to allow retail investors to buy Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, the landscape of how much bullishness has come out in the last 4 months is mind melting, that people are even questioning the cycle here. And then we got basically budget calling for a $5 trillion increase on the US debt. Now, while that sounds terrible, it's something that has to happen because of how big our debt issues are, and even the interest alone on the debts. We pay over $1 trillion a year just on interest on the debt we have. Money printing is coming, whether you like it or not. Be in these basically monetary capture mechanisms, like the best one, Bitcoin. But this is a great point. Non-inflatable, fixed total amount, 21 million Bitcoin. There's something like over 50 million millionaires in the world. Once everybody starts to wake up to this, not even every millionaire in the world can have one full Bitcoin. If you're stacking now and shaking off all this stupid nonsense, and myself as well, I'm frustrated. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, get these give me the greenbacks. That's what we want, right? We want to get these greenbacks into these green candles. For those of you that do follow me here on, the BitLab on YouTube, again, I hope you will have seen it. If you do, if you're subscribed, if you click this thing right here, just click that little button, turn on notifications. You should have seen this morning. I did about a 15-minute as well. Come on, is it going to load? There you go. I posted basically a 15-minute breakdown of the TA this morning, and I think I actually still have it posted. I think I didn't delete it. So boom, I'm going to delete it right now, because I'll give you 3-4 minutes, but it doesn't matter because I'm about to go into this. If you have your notifications on, you would have seen the member stream. It's on an unlisted thing now, but you can, if you have your notifications on, sometimes you can see these things. So shout out to those of you that did see that. But coming back over here, we're in the setup of how much fear is in the market. Again, we might get the market to trigger of the stock market, a closing of the market today, or a pause on trades for 15 minutes if it drops much further. But we're in all the scenarios that we're looking at, and look at this, not much liquidity in either direction. This was about 8 a.m. Let's see what it's at right now, because now we're starting to get a little bit more attention. Now people are trying to long here. How do I know they're trying to long here? Because we have the liquidation level heat map below us. A brighter node right here. Every one of these is areas that somebody was longing in this region. And this is showing a buildup of how much liquidations meaning if the price goes down instead of up like they bet on leverage, this is going to liquidate them and clear those. And there's something like $450 million in liquidations overnight in the market. Streaming error. Why is there a streaming error? Check, check, check. Can you still hear me? I hope you can still hear me. There is an issue on X, so sorry about that, X people. I guess you won't be seeing the rest of this, but YouTube, you should be getting it. Let me know if you're getting it, everybody. I'm going to move slowly here because I don't want to lose you all. We got some good stuff to look at. Mike is getting muted. Are you still good? You keep cutting in and out. I don't know why. Check, check, check. Well, you're still there? Okay, cool. Awesome. In case this does, we're having connection issues apparently. I will say this right now. If you guys want to go and see it, because there are some issues with the internet connectivity, where to go? Come right here. Come on the post page, on BitLab's page. You can come here to this link right here. Let me click on it. I'm just going to copy it here. You guys, this is a 15-minute breakdown of TA. But my question for you is, I'm going to continue here. Hopefully we don't have issues. You can go and watch this there. I do quite a few altcoins and stuff too. You could see what we do in the members, the private member jump starts and stuff. So you can see that, gift to everybody today. Now, yes, it broke down, but we got a lot of things to do here. Viewers might need to reset YouTube, reload your page if you're having issues. But coming back over here, we're seeing, look at this. Ethereum down into the zone and lost it. I'm looking for coming down here into this 1655. If it's not bottoming here, giving us a W formation, then we're looking at this and then down in here into the 1500s. But guys, the frustration in the markets is nothing to balk at right now. It's a little bit of a holding pattern this week because remember we have Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow, and we have the audit, basically not the audit, but all the U.S. agencies have a deadline of Saturday to list how much they have, how much crypto they have. So that's from that executive order regarding the crypto stockpile and the 30 days or whatever that they had to list on that. But by the way, go to that link. I'll post it. I'll pin it up in the top. Let me see if I can pin it. I'll pin it up in the top. If you want to see, there's quite a bit of different channels up there. Pin message. It's pinned in the top comment there on YouTube. I'm going to share it on my page too. It's a member stream, but you guys can take a gander at it because there's a lot of TA in there. So I'm actually not going to do the coins that I did in that, so you can see other stuff. Let's look at SUI because I did XRP and Arrow, and I did a lot. Render, Tau, did a lot. But SUI, golly, this has just been one big dot. And where is it at right now? Boom, sitting right here in this range. If this is lost, we're looking at $1.81, potentially all the way down here to $1.46. But I'm still very confident we're going to have a lot of bullishness in this cycle. The question is, with all of the big players, not only in crypto, but also on the world stage because of the tariff wars, we're having a mix up of data and positivity because of what's happening with the trade wars. So you have to take that into account. Sometimes your TA is going to mean nothing if a news completely changes the dynamic of what people are pricing in into the future. We may have a rough time. Let me say this. I'm super bullish on where the crypto market's going and the stock market as well. Right now, we're having a massively red day, but you buy when there's blood in the streets if you have a long-term bullish outlook on where it's going, especially with Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem. We may push sideways chop, just frustrate the living hell out of everybody all the way into June. I don't think we're going to get a rate cut in May. I think most likely it's going to be in June. Now, if we got a rate cut in May, that would just accelerate, boom, we're very much back. But we may have a frustrating time, maybe push up a little bit, sell back off. I think we're going to have some frustrating times in the market. And I'm looking for dip buying opportunities, especially in crypto, because the stage just got set for the bulls to have a real chance of really running like a mother with all these tailwinds we have and the support of empowering regulation coming in and an administration in the US that's setting up a framework that is supportive and actually encouraging of strategic Bitcoin reserve, stablecoin regulation. Banks are going to be able to get involved. That's debatable if that's good or bad. But the bullish narrative has only gotten stronger. In the near term, it feels like the end of the world. And that's when there's good buying opportunities in markets and prices. The problem is most people don't get excited here because it's scary. They get excited here and go, oh, it's a scam. No, your freaking strategy or lack of strategy is the scam. Let's look at Crow. Nice move up. Boom. We talked about this a couple weeks, about 2 weeks ago when we got this big move up. Look at this, March 24th. Boom. When this pushed up, I said, watch out. This is right at the, you guys hold me accountable. Those of you that were here, you know I said it. I said, watch out because we're at the golden pocket. This is either going to create a bull flag or do a Bart Simpson pattern and come back down. We want to watch if it does come down, can it hold this 382 or is it going to basically come down and test new lows? We're kind of getting a mixed bag on all of that right now. Got the push up, got the chop. We're sitting right now on the 382. If this loses, then we're going to be coming a bit lower, probably down to roughly about 8 cents. 8.82. Now it's not a lot, right? Well, I mean, it's a lot when you understand that it's at 9 down to this. That's a almost 15% move to the downside. Now, if you're really bullish on Crow, then that could be a great opportunity. Have some stop limit orders set there. Cardano. I mean, actually holding up pretty well. Massive heartbeat here, just do, right? And we talked about this. If we lose this, we're looking at coming back down here to about 55 cents. And if we lose that, you know, what I'd really like to see is Cardano kind of, if this does drop, come down into this zone and then not just drop through this, because that would be super bearish. But there's a lot of things coming on the horizon for Cardano. Now, the question is, that's good and bad, because if they are integrating and announcing some Bitcoin DeFi, you know, cross-platform, cross-protocol sort of stuff that they may be offering, could be great. If there's issues with that, then everybody's so excited about it being great. And then the issue ends up creating, the adverse effect where markets sell off. So there's risk in all of this as this entire ecosystem is still building. Constellation DAG, where are we at? There we go. Constellation DAG, nothing different. It's in this range, had the deviation above, but came back in this range. And look, tiny deviation up, boom, right back in. I mean, you can, it's so bearish still. Well, it's still in this bullish setup of this falling channel here. And currently, if this can hold, and we're seeing a lot of things not hold like we want them to, it's currently kind of in this potential rounding bottom. If this does continue down, we're looking to come down in this territory down into the 3-2 zone. I talked about Aerodrome. You'll have to watch the video that's pinned in the top of the live chat. I talk about Aerodrome in there. You can go watch that. I talked about a bunch of different coins in there as well as Bitcoin. So tune into that. You can also see the members it's hard times out here, everybody. Engagement's down on crypto Twitter, on YouTube. Views are about half. The people are not actively in the live. You guys that I see every day are actively commenting, but hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, joining. You guys don't understand how much of an impact that really does have on YouTube, and also getting our content out to more and more people. So I do appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button at least. Turn on your notifications. You'll get access to some of the paid stuff when I post it. The first 5 or 8 minutes, I put it to the public and then I delist it. That way people with notifications on get access to that. And then once you do subscribe, you'll see a join button. Hit that join. It's like $1.25 a week. And you get one of those wrenches. You get the not the wrench, sorry. You get the BitLab beaker next to you that fills up over time the longer you're a member. But I'm curious, in this poll, have you guys answered? Do you think it's dead and a massive crash is inbound? Do you think the bounce is coming soon? And soon, I mean, Bitcoin not going below 74,000. So anywhere between this range and above, are you buying it in these regions? Do you think it's just going to chop for several months? Are you, what the F is going on? I'm curious to hear what you said. I wouldn't expect Bitcoin DeFi to really take off until after the Ouroboros. Yeah, hey, that's a good point. But anything right now, some of the bullish narratives that you could see on a coin right now might not hit like people want because sentiment is in the toilet. So it also might depend on when these things roll out and where we're at with the market. Are we starting to rebound? Because the others chart, look, breaking down, kind of test now the candles on the 4-hour chart are testing below where these candles were. Is this going to find the bottom in this range, or is it going to be blood season in alts? I mean, again, I told you Monday morning, watch out this week all the way through Sunday because how many different economic things are coming out this week. Ugin Sky says dry powder is almost dry. I hear you. I hear you. Lemur HT says chop until mid-May. Let's see what else. What other thoughts you guys have? If you got a good thought, I'll bring it up here. Andy D says HBAR. We could do some HBAR. Yeah. Let's do HBAR. Where is my HBAR at? There we go. Boom. HBAR. What we got? Look at that. Came right up into the zone, previous range. Boom, broke down. It really wanted to do some work, couldn't do it. Boom, down. And we talked about this line the other day because it's not just here. You guys realize? See why I drew it now? It's not just like I picked an area. No, I looked at the area where the most areas of resistance were. Touch, 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 touch. Oh, it means it's not valid. No, here you go. Touch, 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 touch. Even right here. Sorry, even right here, look, found support on it. Boom, rejection, rejection. But I mean, this is just you can see the battle of the bullish and bearish narrative here, not finding follow through because there's like bullishness, and then there's the tariff stuff. And then there's bullishness and there's the tariff stuff. Then there's tariff stuff that's like, oh, this is actually getting reversed. The yo-yo effect in this market is real. I think at minimum, unless everything is, the big Japan, EU, China, Korea, if all of them come to the table and it's like, boom, like they cut in a way that wasn't expected or more quickly come to negotiation table and puts it in a better position than it is. If that doesn't happen here in the next 2 or 3, in the next day or two, which doesn't look like it's going to, then other than that, I think we do have and through a good, first 2 weeks at least of April to work some of this chop out. And that's okay. We can be patient. We can let the market give us more opportunities to stack at certain levels. Injective. Also look, riding right on the trend line. The VWAP's trying to angle up. Everything's just on a hair trigger right now, everybody. It's just a hair trigger on this market. I'm looking for opportunities to stack. But yeah, I love you. Andy D says bull run is over. I'm filling out applications for McDonald's. Hey, you know what? Don't give up, baby. PLUME has been raging in a tight range since it launched. Let's look at PLUME. I haven't looked at PLUME in a minute. I actually don't know if I've charted this. Tight range, yeah, boom. And actually, it's a little bit of a stair step because we have the tight range here. It's almost like a symmetrical triangle a bit. Not really, but a bit. Yeah, I guess it is. Look, breakout, retest, launch. And now this is essentially sitting right at the range of these highs, kind of came back down and tested it. So this is actually looking quite good. If this loses though, then I'd be looking for price action to come down to roughly about right here, down here in the 15-cent range. But PLUME is one of those ones I would like to stack into. DOT, haven't looked at DOT in a minute. Oh man, it's just, so we had this downtrend, fell out, came back in, fell back out. This is though, with these 3 lows currently having a slight rounding bottom, but it's no conviction here. I'd be really wanting DOT to have more conviction. I'd be really wanting DOT to break above this range, 479 up to 505 or so, before because I would like to push up here, come back, have another high low, break out, and test that before I'd have strong bullish conviction. Now, if you have strong bullish conviction for the cycle, then anywhere in here is a great buy. But if you're going to buy here and it drops and you sell, or you buy here, pushes up and it drops and you sell, no, you want the pullback, the confirmation move before the next move up. MORPHO, I mean, God, just about to, I'm so happy that I was so upset up here. And I reminded myself, you always get better prices when you're patient. And look at this. I mean, this is I'm still super bullish on this, but look at that. 74% discount than if I bought it back here. You see how the framing of your mind is different? Oh my God, I didn't get it. Thank God I didn't get it. No. Now it's like, even if you did buy it here, this is a 74% sale, which does look like, I mean, I would think MORPHO is kind of coming in to a near bottom, but I'd be looking for this level. If we lose this, I'd be looking down here at 9.5. Kelly, how does what's happening in crypto compared to the M2 supply? Do you thinking we follow? I do think we're going to follow it, because when you start, it's like throwing gas on a fire or gas near a fire. At some point, those the vapor is going to catch flame, and we've seen it time and time again in the markets, and we've seen it in different formats. You know, we can look over here a lot of times at the global liquidity. Global liquidity, you know, this is that M2, a different way to look at the M2. This is from the Rational Roots Bitcoin strategy platform. Massive uptick in global liquidity. Took a little bit of time with the shakeout, but then boom, pop. Okay, look at this. Uptick in global liquidity. What are we seeing? Pop. Downtick in global liquidity. You're taking liquidity out of markets. What do you see? Bear trend. Okay, what do you see? Global liquidity coming down. What do you see? Bear trend. So as this does start to tick up, I do think, I mean, that's why investing is so important, because it's able to capture the new money that's coming into the market, trickles into people's hands that are investors, and it goes into assets that expand their wealth over time. But that's all I got for you today, everybody. I love you. I got Crypto Kid coming on tomorrow. Smart young guy. I don't know if any of you guys see him. Follow him on YouTube or Twitter. Or really smart guy. We met, I think, in Singapore. But he's got. I'm excited to have him on tomorrow and talk markets and talk charts. And if you guys have any questions for him tomorrow, be prepared for those. But we're going to send you off on your merry way to our friends, to our compadres, the Blockchain Basement crew. Caleb Peachy, maybe throw in some link. I did do link. If you look at the that link that's in the top of the the chat. What am I talking about? Let me go. Boom. It is right here. You can see it. This link right here. This morning's member stream. It's unlisted, but if you got the link, you can see it. And it's another reminder, if you want some of those, the free TA and the other stuff, the member stuff that I do, I don't do it all the time, but when, for basically giving it out to others. But if you turn on subscribe, turn on notifications, you'll get notified on the ones that I do post to public. I only leave them public for like 6 minutes. But if your notification is on, you'll see it. You can go in there. Once you're in there, once you have the link, you can see it. So shout out to everybody. I love you all so much. Remember, you're going to be laughing at these moments and only a couple months into the next rest of your life if you're taking advantage of this. So everybody, before we go, I want you to ask yourself, rather than what you're bothered about, what you're a victim for, remember, tune in. What are you thankful for? Who are you grateful for? Who can you drop some kindness on today that you haven't in a while? And don't tell anybody about it. Just go and do it. Show some love. I really do appreciate you guys. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos.